Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life. This is an episode where I wish I had like a deep booming voice and I could do like the Street Fighter, like surface pattern design versus design, because that's what we're talking about today. And I'm sorry that wasn't nearly good enough. I really needed like that Street Fighter voice. You guys know what I'm talking about. I really want to talk about surface pattern design versus like what we just consider design today, and in particular graphic design, because I think there are lots of you who come to me because you want to become surface pattern designers. I'm well known for doing a lot of surface pattern design with my fabrics, because I was a creative director of a scrapbooking company, because I was in scrapbooking for so long. So let's talk about these definitions and let's talk about what you really want to become, because I think there's a ton of dreams around there around surface pattern design. And I think what I really want to convince you is that you don't just want to be a surface pattern designer. You want to be a designer. You want to be a designer that can do everything. So let's just talk about that. Okay, so surface pattern design is exactly what it sounds like, you guys. It is designing anything that has a flat surface. And usually it's pattern, right? Like, because we could design like like you guys see the reusable or recyclable bags in your grocery store, and sometimes they don't have a pattern all over it. Sometimes they just have words or a little quote or something like that. That's not considered surface pattern design because it's not a pattern, right? It's a one piece that you put on that bag. Now, already some of you don't realize, like, you want to do that. You want to do that along with the pattern stuff. That already differentiates the two terms, okay? Surface pattern design, very most likely you're thinking about fabric or textiles, which is wonderful. Scrapbooking paper or any kind of papers or anything where you can create like a full-on pattern and then drop it onto that surface, right? Versus if you just want to be a graphic designer or a designer, okay? That includes an awful lot of things, right? I don't consider myself a surface pattern designer, you guys, even though that is what I'm actually known for fabric, scrapbooking, things that I've designed there. I think of myself as a graphic designer or just a designer because so much of what I do is actually 3D. So much of what I do isn't just patterns. There is so much money to be made in the design world if you can know how to do more than patterns. Patterns are low level, you guys. Like learning how to use your negative space wisely, learning how to toss patterns. Like these are all important things. If you can learn that kind of stuff, you better believe you can learn how to set up a quote beautifully and use hierarchy, develop a focal point in your work, be able to create and make 3D items. Those of you who are, watching on my YouTube channel, usually I have like a few 3D items sitting behind me. Those things make you a better designer than just that surface pattern designer. So those of you who've been going out of your way and you've been listening, watching, taking online courses for just surface pattern design, first of all, you're missing out because there is so much more money to be made in the regular design space. This very tiny space of surface pattern design does not make a lot of money. I don't know very many designers who are in this space who are making six figures. I really don't, okay? The ones that are making six figures are doing multiple things. They are designing for multiple fields, which is why I'm here to tell you, you can have so much more. If your big dream is to be a surface pattern designer, I want to take you by the hand and say, you are bigger. You are better than that. You can become so much more. Just dream of being a graphic designer. Just dream of being a designer who can do anything, because here is the most awesome thing that happens if you're willing to think of yourself, and the big dream is to become the multi-stream designer, right, out there, versus just the designer who's making the one fabric line. First of all, if you can design one thing well, okay, so if you understand how to use focal points and hierarchy, and you can talk like a designer, and you can design like a professional designer, you're not doing amateur stuff, you're really thinking through how the movement of your designs are working. Here is the cool thing. It works for everything else in your life. It works for your interiors. It works for event planning and event design. It works for situational design. You're going to be thinking about the negative space happening in your studio or your office and how you can use it spatially wisely, okay? It's just so funny because actually one of my Design Suite members, they're building a house. Kenzie, I'm talking about you. She's building a house, and she sent me a message and was like, oh my gosh, I just realized I can use Illustrator. She's been learning Illustrator and Design Suite to set up all the furniture in my house. And I was just like, oh yeah, bingo, you've got it, okay? Because once you can really visualize and think in one way, like in that graphic design space, you can also work with it in other spaces. Now, I do not profess to be a interior designer or even event space designer or even an event designer. But once your brain starts thinking a certain way, when you start thinking about focal points and where our eyes are moving, and we can talk about visual spaces in a certain way, do you know what happens? You start getting good at all of it, and you start seeing it all over in your life, and you're going to get really excited about the kinds of things that you can design once you start on this journey. Now, before I end today, I just want to let you know we have a design bootcamp coming up in a little bit more than a week. Like, we have a weekend in a week. And I am here to tell you, if your big dream is to become a surface pattern designer, you need to come to Design Bootcamp, because we are going to blow your mind with all the things that you actually can do if you can learn not only that piece of it, but all the other pieces. And it's not scary. In fact, it's easier. So come join me. You can check out, or you can register at carinagardnercourses.com/design bootcamp. I can't wait to see you there. I love meeting people who have big dreams, and I love helping them get to their big dreams, because there is so much money to be made as a designer, but also so much creativity and the ability to create this amazing lifestyle that really caters to your life. Like, you will wake up every day just so excited to be able to do the work that is meant for you to do. So I hope to see you there. That's, again, carinagardnercourses.com/design bootcamp. I can't wait to see you there. Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.